Welcome, little one. This is your first day. Your designation will be RP-01/138. We expect great things from you. You have been born into dangerous times. A sharp mind can be the key to survival. But as often as not, it will be your inherent physical traits that win the day. And in this regard, you will be superior to your more common brethren. For you are a commando, an elite unit, something truly special. Your weapons, your armor, and most importantly, your brothers.
Listen up.
Delta Squad, form up.
Forming up, boss.
What up, my fellow Republic Commandos? It is your boy Trey of the Bat Channel. We are live in a galaxy far, far away doing another awesome Delta Squad stream. Let me go ahead and bring out our co-host, the Sith sympathizer, Super Bro Corey. Darth Super Bro Corey, you know. Are you not joining me? Are you?
Hey, bud.
Are you on program right now? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to end program.
Oh, well, end program.
Oh, okay. Cool. What's up, bud?
Yeah. It's always like, what the hell are you doing? Oh, he's doing stuff from the show. Okay. Nice background.
Thank you.
First off, I just love the way Andy Serkis is staring at you right now, because clearly you're in his one way, out, and you need to move. Otherwise, you're like, you look like you've stolen his precious, and he's about to f you up. He's about to shank you. It's prison life,
Precious. Yeah,
he's looking for his new precious.
Shut up there.
How you doing, big fella?
What really I made you think that I'm a prison. No, I'm zapping these guys. Get back in line.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about this episode today because it like dialogue especially
Why?
was some of the greatest like script that I've ever heard on
This
Star
was the
Wars.
worst episode. All these boring escape scenes, and the time I kept thinking about Surreal's breakfast or what convo did he have with his mom.
I did miss the blue mix cereal.
Yeah. Do you know who really agrees with this comment, Trey?
No, who really agrees with it, Corey?
Probably this guy right here.
Orca Beans.
And maybe this guy as well.
And Savage.
Yo,
He's a detective, you idiot.
I'm a cop, you idiot.
How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Hello there. Oh man, a lot to talk about with this episode. There was, I felt like there
Whoa! You're not gonna give Batman his little $5
with his trolling super chat. Fine, we'll give it to him. Though I feel like because of what he said here, I think I'm going to pick the super chat this round, Corey, if you don't mind.
I know what you're gonna play, but do
Oh,
it.
you do? Yeah. This one is for you, Batman.
Liar! Obviously.
Oh, Batman, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. You're wrong, but I'll read it because you supported us.
Hey, I'm excited that I finally got to watch the episode of Andor that Savage has been watching this whole time. This episode was awesome.
Yeah.
Meaning you absolutely hated it. No,
Yeah, it's nice on Savage's side. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
It was definitely watching it. It was kind of weird. I heard someone, another content creator, it may have been Star Wars Theory who said it, where he felt like, this whole entire season so far, because we have 2 episodes left before this show is, at least season 1 is done. And
all slow episodes from here now.
Right, yeah. And he happened to say, he's like, I wish it was a shorter show. He's like, but at the same time, he's wondering if this episode was so much more impactful because of the slow pacing and kind of the filler episodes that it made it that much more rewarding. And when I was thinking about that, I was like, yeah, man, that makes sense to me. And I think I agree with it. What do you guys think about that concept? Like that, all these filler episodes were building to these, these last 3 episodes, probably.
Well, I mean, if you're going to bore us to death for 6 episodes straight, of course an episode like this is going to be more impactful. They're breaking their mold. We talked about this 3-episode structure that they did. They ruined it we thought last episode was going to be the big prison break. They gave us another slow episode, so they're like, haha, we're going to keep you on your toes. We're breaking our mold. So, of course, this was going to be more impactful. I think the next 2 are going to be more impactful. And I really think that final episode is just going to set up for another season.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to leave on a cliffhanger that's going to, propel us into this next season. That I think, Savage, were you telling us that they have just started filming for season 2, or they're about to?
I think it was November 14th, a couple of days' time.
Okay.
I think it was. I don't know, post about it. I'll double check.
And then while Savage is checking real quick, Corey, what's your thoughts about the theory that Star Wars Theory had, nonetheless, that maybe this was part of the plan to have these slow filler episodes to make this episode especially more rewarding?
I think that makes perfect sense. Personally, I've liked these episodes. I've been enjoying it. Similarly to Savage Bat, my scores maybe not have been as high every episode as Savage Bat, but I've been enjoying Andor quite a bit, and this episode was fire.
It was November 21st. It starts, not 14th.
Okay, so just in a week and a couple of days. Sweet.
They start filming, yeah.
Already in season 2, and are they still doing it in the London studios there, Savage?
Yeah. I'm presuming. Yeah, that's
Savage. We need you to break in.
Yeah.
Find out what's going on. Give us some of the dirty news. Let us know if Hayden Christensen shows up.
I felt what I'm going to do is go to the beach. When Andor was arrested,
Yes,
by,
yeah.
by the droid, and see if I can find the spot and get someone to take a picture of me in the scene, line it up.
And
I've
make
done it.
sure they're
you,
like super tall and they're like holding your neck to the wall, and be like,
Yeah.
you are being
But that's
rescued.
like 34 miles away from where I live.
Dude,
That'll be awesome. I'm excited for that. So, what's up, Lord Koj? It's good to see you here, brother. He says, I still feel they are doing the 3-episode thing. We got like 3 episodes in the prison after a filler episode, and I'm expecting a 2 order finale. Okay,
Is that
gotcha.
Coach?
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's been interesting for sure. Savage, I don't know if you've given your opinion about the filler episodes building. Like, do you think it made this episode more special, or do you agree with some people that like, they probably could have cut down some of these filler episodes, and this episode still would have been just as rewarding?
No, well, I kind of really like that build up, strong storytelling, and so no, I'd have to disagree. I like them, and I like the build up. And it's like I said this in my original post when it first started. It's not just a great Star Wars show; it's a great TV show. It's just it's in its own class, in my opinion.
It's really kind of elevated Star Wars storytelling in a way, because like I've said before, Rogue One I still have like issues with, because Star Wars has always been a very innocent storytelling. The good guys, the bad guys, and that path to being the bad guys, and maybe the possibility of redemption. It's very like, while it's very great, and I still love what George Lucas did, and for me it was easy to understand, and Clone Wars really kind of built on like the politicalness of it, but it was still very much good guys versus the bad guys. And this show has really made it even more complex, but has added a layer to the rebels that have made them far more interesting. It's kind of like the whole thing where people say Superman's not a interesting character because he's the Boy Scout. You just know what he's going to do. It's always going to be the right thing to do. And then you have Batman, who kind of rides that fine line of bad and good, and somehow comes out on top. And with the Rebels, I feel like you're seeing that. You're seeing that the sacrifices, the levels and the boundaries they're willing to break and go to achieve their overall mission. So I dig what they're doing with that, and I think they're doing it very well. And like you said, Savage, it's not just a great show. If you add Star Wars to it, it becomes an amazing show. But the fact that already, if you take the Star Wars out, it's a solid show.
Yeah,
I
100%.
completely agree. Laura Koj says New Hope had slow build up, beginning with a huge payoff. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point, Koj. As always, guys, now that we kind of did our little summary into our show, you can follow us on our other social media pages like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter at _Bat channel. We'd love to see you guys there. You can always DM us, tell us what you guys would like us to review, or maybe some of the Easter eggs we may have missed on some of these breakdown videos. We'd love to hear from you guys. Or if you're still on Facebook, after some of you running away from Twitter, you can follow us at Holy Bat Channel. We're everywhere. We're like Batman. We'll show up behind you, and in the dark, we're in the shadows. No, I'm just kidding. Or you can help support us by smashing that like, sharing this video, subscribing if you haven't already. Help us get to 1,600, man. We were so close. I've been growing like crazy lately, and we thank you guys so much. It all goes to your guys' support in sharing these videos and spreading the word about the Bat Channel and everyone on this panel. So we appreciate it so much. And of course, don't do what I, suck at, which is hitting the notification bell and missing your favorite content creators' episodes. Hit the notification bell. Don't miss that episode, because there's a lot going on lately, and we have a lot to talk about. And of course, if you feel like supporting us all the more, the money goes right back into the Bat Channel with your super chats, basically improving the equipment and renewing our subscriptions like StreamYard that allows us to do these live shows, to hang out with you guys. And, obviously kind of doing extra content, like hopefully I'm planning on getting this hopefully Black Friday on Xbox Series X, so I can start doing some more Twitch streams with Orc and Beans on some of the new games that are coming out now, like Gotham Knights. We'll see, but it'll be fun, all the good little things. And plus, we like to show our love and support back with a fun little clip. But guys, are you ready, the Delta Squad, to form up and break down the latest episode of Andor?
No.
No. Okay.
Nah.
He's like, no. In fact, I'm already done with today. No, I'm just kidding. Well, me personally, I'm excited to talk about this show with you guys because of the recent Kevin Conroy news really bums me out. We did do a great little stream kind of just tributing to Kevin Conroy. We're going to be doing a watch party soon where we're going to try to raise some money for cancer research in honor of Kevin Conroy and the loss of the voice of Batman. But also we had a great watch party of Starship Troopers. But now to help kind of, because like I told Savage and a few of the people earlier, I started the day, and of course someone started playing that Kevin Conroy "Am I Blue" Batman episode from Justice League Unlimited, and immediate tears came down. So I was like feeling down. This is gonna pick me up because I freaking loved this episode. This episode, titled "One Way Out," which will make tons of sense. I like to break down these episodes by kind of sticking to a story that kind of happens throughout rather than doing the flip and force, the flip backs, So I started with Mon Mothma because I felt like she's just been a wonderful character throughout this entire show, but she kind of had the quickest little portion. There was a quick little scene about what's going on Ferrix with Andor's adoptive mother, or in Orc Beans like to says, his kidnapped, his mom that kidnapped him.
Finally getting her comeuppance.
Yeah, she's apparently, given up the medicine to help beat whatever illness she has going on because she wants to stay strong, and she knows she's going out anyways because she plans on making a statement to the Empire over on Ferrix, but that's really all we know what's going on with her at the moment. She's just not looking well, and probably honestly getting to that place where she's going to be comfortable in doing something very drastic because she has nothing to worry about. But now we got Mon Mothma, as we learned in the last episode. She's going to be meeting this gangster, this thug, so she can get her money to help the rebellion, or this charity, as she's kind of putting this blanket around. What did you guys think of this whole interaction and this gangster, this gentleman that she had this very tense interaction with? Let's start with you, Savage.
Yeah, it was amazing, and the guy, I don't know the actor's name, but it's very convincing, and I'm pretty sure that he's kind of sort of bit based off of Bricktop from Snatch. Who was also based on a real life London gangster called Frankie Fraser, I think it was. But yeah, he was really I don't know, he really looked like a mean motherfucker.
Oh yes, yeah, and I just loved it's kind of just that funny thing where he's back on Coruscant for, it seems like it's been a while since he's been able to return to Coruscant, and I love, it's kind of that funny thing where obviously she doesn't want to get her hands dirty, but she already feels guilty for bringing this guy even into the conversation, and now having him there, and he knows that he can press her buttons in a way to get what he wants. In the end, he's very good at reading people. Orc and Beans, what was your thoughts on the interaction between the two?
This was some Game of Thrones bullshit where it was just like, oh, you have a daughter, I have a son. And she immediately picked up on it. And even though he was like, no, I just want them to meet. We'll just see what happens. It was totally him trying to arrange a marriage. And I thought it wasn't what I thought was going to happen. But I was like, oh shit. And we got kind of a little bit of maybe backstory on what happened with her. Cause it sounds like her marriage was probably an arranged marriage. And so I thought that was like Savage said, that was some gangster shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it did give us some backstory about Mon Mothma, because you often think why the hell is she with her husband? And I think we did learn in another episode that it was an arranged marriage because it's a tradition where she's from. And you could tell she's salty about that. She would have preferred her own choice in the matter. And it's very much just kind of like how it was done back in the royalty days, with marrying two houses so that it becomes stronger, and really there's like a political essence behind these arranged marriages. Who knows what gain she got through her husband with her political standing, but in this case, this gangster is looking at it like, oh, if I get my son in it, not only does she get the power of his wealth and his resources, but he gets her political respect that she has, her political stature, and is deemed, I guess you could say, probably no longer a shady family if he's able to kind of weasel himself in here. But yeah, you could tell that she's not too keen on his I guess his offer. Super Bro Corey, what's your thoughts about their interaction?
Oh man, I loved it. The dude was a total gangster, complete badass. You know, in a world where they're like always seeming to wear like dull colors, like look at her dress, beiges, whites, you know, blacks, you know, very proper-ish. You know, this guy's walking in with a, you know, goddamn teal pimp suit. You know, so you knew he was going to come in and take charge of that meeting. I thought it was hilarious that he was like, yeah, I think my son and your daughter should meet. But I was also a little caught back. I was like, hey, you don't like your daughter that much, you know, like just sell her off, you know, like there you go. You know? Like what are we waiting for?
Yeah, well, I mean, in a way, you know, she clearly, it just shows just how much she hates her tradition, what happened to her, and even for how much we don't like her daughter. She would not ask for that to happen to her as well. Now, one of my favorite lines in this entire scene was when he presents the offer to just have their children meet, and immediately she's like, "Nope, you can go. Take him out. Take her away." He basically says like, "Oh, well, like I'll give you time to think about it," and she's like, "Nope, I've already made my decision." And I love that he goes back. He's just like, "Come on. Don't bullshit us. That's the first lie you've told me since we've been here."
Don't bullshit us, right, Savage?
Yeah, come on, don't
bullshit me.
What do you guys think she's gonna do? Do you think she's actually considering it, or do you think she's trying to find other I mean, obviously she's trying to find other alternatives, but do you think she's, in the end, she's gonna have to pull the plug on it? She's gonna have to sacrifice her family and her values to the overall goodness of the rebellion?
I think that possibly she's going to think of a way of stitching him up. Like, you can meet my daughter, and then it just not work out in his favour, maybe. And she'll be like, "Nice one, see you later." I think maybe that'd be a possibility. Can't really see her giving her daughter away to this guy. I mean, it's Mon Mothra, the like sort of leader of the rebellion. I mean, that would be pretty weird.
I feel like she has to put some skin in the game, though, Savage.
But just Star Wars. I mean, dealing with the subject of underage marriage. I mean, what the fuck is that? Where'd that one come from, Disney?
They've been paying attention to too much Game of Thrones, apparently, like Orchid said, And honestly, maybe that is some influence behind this and inspiration, because I mean, then again, we did learn that Mon Mothma, I think she was 13 when she got married, 14. It was something like that, I think, is what we learned in the previous episode at one of the dinner parties with Tay. But just kind of crazy overall. Orc and Beans, what do you think? Do you think she's going to have to do it, or do you think she's going to find a way around it?
I don't think she's going to want to do, but something that I caught my eye was when he said, "Oh, I've met your husband quite a few times." And so he's got that relationship with him. And so I'm curious if this guy's going to talk to the husband and be like, "Hey, tell me about this charity that your wife is doing." And he's going to be like, "What charity?" And he's going to kind of tell him about their meeting, and maybe that will spark kind of what happens to her family, if maybe this is the start of their split.
Interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Because you brought it up, and I will let Super Bro Corey have his moment, but I'll let Corey kind of answer in a two-parter. But because you brought it up, Orc, and I don't want to forget it, when the gangster, I'm totally spacing his name. I keep spacing this guy's name, and I don't know why. When he talks about it, it's like, "Oh, I'm assuming you want to talk about your husband." Like, we're friends. I took that as because this dude's a gangster, he probably owns like whorehouses, and that her husband has visited these whorehouses a few times. I get the feeling that he's probably cheating. That's kind of how I took it. I even asked Sarah. I didn't even like say anything. I was like, did he basically say? And she's like, yeah, I think he's saying he cheats on his wife, just making another reason why we don't like him. Did you guys get that too?
Yeah, it was a bit kind of like that.
I figured that from the beginning.
Yeah, it come across that kind of way. Yeah.
I didn't need
You're just now figuring it out, Trey?
No, I didn't, because I talked about it literally right when I saw that scene and asked my wife about it. It was a point that I was going to ask about it if someone else caught it too. So, but I'm glad like everyone's kind of like, once we heard that, it's kind of like, yeah, it's definitely happening.
That's why I pulled with Mon. And Mon should just be selling off both her husband and her child. I'm like,
why not?
Yeah.
He really reminds me of Bill Sykes from Oliver Twist as well. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see where Super Bro Corey, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool scene. I liked how he's like, yeah, you're thinking about it. She's going to end up doing it. She's going to go down that trap. He knows that he has the upper hand. For her to get in contact with him, he knows that she's in desperate need of something, and he's going to play it to his power. He's a hot damn pimp, keeping his pimp hand strong.
Jesus. And it's kind of funny that
come with it.
Yeah. I do think it's kind of funny that a lot of these, like, it seems like it's a typical thing in these like types of political TV shows. Whenever they have to get their hands dirty and like work with a shady person, they always think that person wants is money. But it's like they're a gangster. They're rich already. They're already getting all the money that they want in the world. And I love that he was like, seriously, I don't need money. Life is good for me. I have other things in mind that I want. And you would think maybe that would be something of just simple information to know exactly what she's up to so that he can hold something over her. And that's where I thought they were going. But it caught me off guard too, Orc, when he was like, yeah, let's have our children meet. They're both attractive. I know my son will definitely be able to, get into that. So he'll make her fall in love.
Whoa, Trey.
What a dick. But yes, a very, very cool scene overall, and just kind of shows the struggle. And honestly, not only did this show obviously being called One Way Out for this particular episode, I feel like the other main theme was sacrifice. What are you willing to do to achieve the goal that you're trying to get to, the rebellion, to what the Empire is trying to achieve? Everyone's having to sacrifice something for what they would consider the greater good. And I thought that was very, very intriguing. Corey, can you go to the next portion we would like to talk about, sir?
Again, and that's one thing that I love that Andor does. It's constantly the entire, when they say the theme of the show, it's going to be that entire theme. There's only one way out of this for you, Mon. Only one way out for everything. It's very cool how they keep going back to the title with everybody. It's very impressive in their own unique ways.
And her acting in that bit was brilliant. That last little bit when you could see she looked like her head was going to explode with anger. She we'll get on to the other actor. It was obviously a big part of this episode, but her and she's one of the best parts of the whole show, in my opinion. She's just an amazing actress.
I want to see her lose it a little bit, like get a little,
I honestly would not be surprised if she got if she appeared again or got her own series. That wouldn't shock me. That would not shock me one bit.
Yeah. And obviously we kind of learn, I think, this show's definitely going to be nominated for a lot of things. Cause I think, Luthen, Stellan Skarsgård is going to get nominations for this thing because it's his performance especially has been insane, and we'll talk about his part shortly. But we learn what the Empire is up to, how they're setting up a trap trying to figure out who Axis is, which is basically Luthen's character that they're trying to find. And they're setting up a trap for him, and it's a pretty good plan. But we really get to learn from, Deidre and kind of her co-worker who's been like helping her out with this. I think his name is Lino, something like that. Let me pull it up here. Lonnie. I knew it was an L. Lonnie, Lino, Lonnie. Either way. Lonnie, Supervisor Lonnie, kind of tells him, like, let's just do what we always do. Let's set up this trap and see what happens. And, he's along for the ride. So you kind of get an idea that Lonnie could very well be this particular spy that Luthen has with him. And we learn from Luthen's assistant that I loved. Did you guys thought that was kind of crazy? A simple thing that you would never expect as kind of the sign that says, hey, I want a meeting, was kind of just like a broken railing kind of thing. A little sign like that.
Yeah, it seemed to me very similar to like putting a mark on a mailbox type thing. It was cool. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, kind of like, oh man, something as simple as that. She was able to pay attention to that detail, and it was like, yep, there it is. Did anyone catch the Easter egg of the helmets that they're right next to is the same headpiece that Padme wore in Attack of the Clones?
Oh, I didn't see that. No, not until now. No, but that's a brilliant one.
Did you see that the one guy said he didn't even realize that they had added that armor from the video game? He goes, the art department just keeps throwing shit in there, and I didn't even notice it.
I did not. Where did you hear that?
It was. Hold on. Let me try. I'll try. Keep going. I'm going to find the article. But one of the guys was like, yeah, everyone starts telling me about how this armor from this video game is in one of my shots, and I just didn't even notice it. And then he found out that the art department just added it in there on their own.
Kudos to the art department because every time you're in Luthen's office, it's like Easter eggs galore. Just trying to find all the cool shit. And it looks like Luthen was like cleaning some of the antiques in there. But I love how his assistant gets in there and she's like, hey, I saw the sign. Our contact in the ISB wants to meet face to face, which tells Luthen like, yeah, man, I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner, which means this must be some big news. Or Luthen seems to always be quite a few steps ahead of people, which is why the rebellion has been able to move along as fast as it did, because he knows what's about to be requested from his contact. But I did like that she's like, let me go instead. You're still, I think I know we kind of had the thought that she is the head in this, but to me, this episode kind of solidified that Luthen is still, he's the man behind the curtain, and she's just very, very loyal to him because she's always been worried about his well-being and keeping his secrecy, and would prefer to put her in the scope rather than him. Do you guys think the same? Like he's definitely the head of this rebellion.
Yeah, I'd say so. Really, yeah. And like I said before, I'm sure there's some connection to the Emperor with him. It's just
It's
so
coming,
many,
Savage.
so many indicators. I said this from episode 1. I just know it. There's something. I don't know what it is, but there's the scene. We'll get to that, but there was just there's so much more to it than meets the eye with him, I think. And just amazing acting, amazing character.
I kind of hope the Emperor kills him.
Yeah, maybe.
That could be interesting.
Because one thing I've noticed, they're very both Emperor-like in their shots, their scenes, kind of behind the scenes, manipulating people all over the place, So there's a lot of similarities there. So he's either, like Savage has been saying all along, on the same side, or knows him really well, or it's just showing the opposite side of the good guys aren't really necessarily all that good. They're manipulating people for their cause, and like I said, I'd love to see some Luthen fried,
Jeez, Corey. Did you find that Easter egg, Orc, or
Yeah, Corey has it pulled up.
let's go ahead and pull that up real quick, Corey, because I'm curious to hear about that.
So it says Andor showrunner Tony Gilroy reveals those Easter eggs are snuck in by the art department. Andor showrunner Tony Gilroy has revealed that the Easter eggs hidden in Luthen's antique store are actually snuck in by the art department. So far, eagle-eyed viewers have spotted the likes of Jedi and Sith holocrons and a Jedi Temple Guard mask in the background of Luthen's shop. They say, when it comes to the history of my 5 years for the show, that's my board. I know the canonical incidents that pertain to my people, Gilroy told Variety. When it comes to ships or props or weapons or sometimes planets, if we're not making them up, I'm deeply involved in that. But then the art department will sneak in all that crap into Luthen's gallery that I had no idea, like, oh my God, the thing in the background and people are blowing it up. That's the art department. So many cool people work on the show. There's a deep geekdom in Pinewood, believe me. He also revealed how he gets a handle on the complex canon for the galaxy far, far away. I have a bunch of resources. I have Star Wars lore advisor Pablo Hidalgo from the Curia in the Vatican at Lucasfilm. I know him from Rogue One, Gilroy explained. Wikipedia is a tool that one has to really learn how to use because there are at least 4 different kinds of canon that I can describe. There's the movie canon, there's the movie canon plus the cartoon canon, there's the novelized canon, and then there's fan fiction, which actually forms the largest group of the whole thing. So there's that. The relics found in Luthen's shop have led some people to speculate that the character might be a secret Jedi hiding in plain sight. Though the Easter eggs aren't actually embedded in the story, this seems less likely.
Well, yeah, right. See, and that's the funny part is like all those content creators are looking around his shopping thinking like, oh my God, like this dude's clearly connected. And really the director has no idea like what any of that could potentially mean in terms of what's canon. And, you know, that is great. I love that the art department is really kind of had fun with that, and hopefully they don't tell them to slow it down for season 2 or whatever.
And just shows you how much of true fans they are to do stuff like that, you know, and know about that stuff, you know, and go over his head with it as well. It's brilliant.
And from different lores as well, too, you know, like, you know, with Indiana Jones type stuff in there as well. So it's like, hey, let's sneak some of these things in there, you know, and nobody will think of it. You know, they think they were pulling a fast one, and then all of a sudden, you know.
Right, and someone catches it, you know. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if some of that is leaked from people in the art department. Like, hey, man, guess what I put in, you know, the background of Star Wars.
I'm sure they tell their buddies. They're like, hey, look at this, you know, like, what? Look at the back right. And then immediately it just blows up all over the place.
Right, because like who else knew that was Carbonite, you know, Indiana Jones whip, you know, like insane. You didn't know unless someone was like looking for it, which is crazy. But yeah, I agree. Art department, well done. Orc Beans, thank you for sharing that with us, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, expanding the canon, right? Definitely for sure. Now I didn't quite want to stick with the story of Luthen yet because I want to save. Luthen and Kino Loy both give probably one of the greatest speeches I've ever heard in Star Wars, you know, movies, animation, video games. Absolutely insane. So I wanted to save that for the end because I think it was super powerful and important to this entire episode and show. So I figured let's jump now to the prison, to everything that's about to happen. Obviously, the breakout is about to begin, but we come back. They start literally right after Yulof had just passed away, and they learned the secret. Kino Loy and Cassian learned that basically no one is going to leave this prison. They are all going to. Corey, I realize you haven't even switched the slide, man. That they are no one's leaving. People are going to die working their asses off. And if, you know, they get done with their ship, they're just going to be sent to another prison to build another piece of whatever they're building and what is so secret that they were willing to kill 100 men just for this. And of course, Kino is just kind of like, I think Kino is very taken back and doesn't quite know what to think, and he's just kind of at a loss of words. But Cassian is confident, and even Cassian, has a great little speech in this. What did you guys think of this quick little interaction between the two, where really Cassian is trying to convince Kino to rebel against the Empire? Let's start with Savage.
Yeah, it was obviously indicated that was the end of the last episode, so we was kind of expecting all this to happen. But it was a great way to go straight in there, and like we said, I didn't want it to go on for another episode after this. I'm so happy that they just went in full blast, and it was like, right, now is the time. And we'll get to it later, but yeah, one of the greatest episodes out of the series so far, without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Orkin Beans, your thoughts?
I mean, that guy's going through a lot. In like a span of 5 minutes, he's been told, hey, nobody's getting out of here. And then he's told, we have to do this tomorrow. He's going through a lot. He was very against talking about this kind of stuff. And, he tells Cassian to get those ideas out of his head a few episodes ago. And now it's the next time you wake up, it's going down. And so he's going through a lot. And you can see he's stressing out. He does this thing where every time he like dishevels his hair, he like slicks it back when he goes back into program to kind of like put him back into he's back into prisoner mode. I'm so glad
you caught that. Yeah.
Yeah, he does it every time he gets stressed out. He slicks his hair back when he goes back into program. So, he's going through a lot, and his mental has to just be crazy. And he also now has to become kind of a leader in this thing, because when Cassian's talking about it, people are kind of listening. And then when he speaks up and says, no, it's true, then everybody on the floor is like, holy shit, if he's saying it's true, then it has to be.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of it's a lot of why Cassian, and especially with his big speech that we're going to talk about later, it's why Cassian says it has to be you. It can't be Cassian. Cassian fucking showed up like 40 days ago. This is a guy that's been here a long time. He's respected by everybody. What he says holds a hell of a lot more weight than what this fucking other guy says. So like, it was a huge moment of like, you now have to completely change your entire thought process to now tomorrow you're rebelling.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Lord Koj says, this program stuff gives me Tron vibes of their bad guys oppressing the others program end of the line. Oh yeah, man. I could see where you go with that. To me, it was like very much as Orc kind of mentioned, it's this moment where he has to, Kino has to be a leader. And my wife actually said it like, why is he hesitating? Like, he knows he has to, like, something has to happen. And I said, well, it's the difference of like, he was in it for himself. If he can keep his group, strong and get their work done, then, he's going to be out soon. Now he's about to start the rebellion and people want him to lead it. So therefore lives are actually on his hands now. He's about to put people into the line of fire, and that's not easy for any leader to do. And he has to come to grips with that. That's why he hesitates so much in this episode. But when he finally does, and kind of, as Orc says, kind of reprograms himself by slicking the hair back and getting that mindset. I loved, Corey's disagreeing with me, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I think when he finally kind of shouts out and says it's all true, I think the reason why he partly shouts that out, it was like forcing his body to get those words out, to say the truth, to really commit to this escape plan. But Super Bro Corey, you're disagreeing with me. Why?
only to be funny. He knew the entire time that he wasn't going to be able to swim away if he does get out. So, No, I think you guys are both absolutely correct, man. It was powerful. It had to come from a person who was uh, in charge of a floor, somebody who's been there for a long time that has held ran a very tight ship on the floor. So for somebody who was get back in line, following the orders, let's just play this right, for him to break it was huge for the rest of the prisoners to see. And like Red Hood Outlaw says, I can't swim, precious.
Yeah, there was a moment when he gives his big speech over the intercom that I was like, he kind of sounds like Smeagol in a way, or it was like, I don't know, he just like did the face that I was like, I've seen that face before. Yes, precious. The pirates stole it from us.
Hey, retro in the place.
Oh
up,
my
Retro?
God,
Good to
Trey.
What?
You should totally like record his
Redub his lines as Gollum.
as Gollum.
I can't swim, precious. Oh, that's the little wowzers. I don't know. But I love it, man. He kind of just says we need everyone to come together. We're gonna think this plan through. And I think one of the most powerful things he could say to that group to get them all on track, other than no one's gonna leave this place, is to simply tell them, if we're gonna do this, we got to commit. And here's the way to look at it: to no matter what, if we do nothing, we are dead. So I'm going to act as if I'm already a dead man, which means he can do everything he needs to do and not hold back to get the job done, which is, I think, important because so many people, you think, oh, I want to live, I want to survive this. So maybe I just keep my head down. In this case, they can't. No one can. And honestly, that's what the rebellion has needed at this point. And Luthen is trying to get them there. Is that moment of you have to be willing to take the first step. You have to be willing to dive in head first and commit. Too many people are trying to play it safe. Mon Mothma is trying to play it safe because she doesn't want to put the dangers of her family in place. As we'll learn a little bit down the line, Luthen's spy doesn't want to put it dangerously because he has a family now to worry about. Everyone is not fully committed to this true ideal of the rebellion, and the time is now. The time is to get going for this. And I loved that line of act as if you're a dead man, because we are, and think on it. This is what we're going to do. Here's the plan. And really, it's a wonderful plan. We start to understand what Cassian was planning with, cutting down into those pipes to create the flooding in it, to, shut down the whole system, have a system-wide power outage, basically, which was brilliant. What did you guys think of the whole breakout scene? Action-wise, intensity-wise, seemed like a pretty solid plan that worked out pretty well. There was going to be casualties, but there always are.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And like I said earlier, this is probably the best episode in the series. I think it was the damn one. I can't remember what number episode that was, but this one I think is extra special. And what I really liked as well was the sound effects of the blasters sounded a lot different. Reminded me of the sound effects they use for the games, like Shadows of the Empire and things like that. It was just all done so well. And it just went from, like I said, it's a really good TV show. Just went from a Prison Break automatically straight back to Star Wars, and he was right back there in the Star Wars universe. And yeah, just an amazing breakout, and people throwing their lives at it. Because there's so many prisoners. That was the whole thing. The guards are outnumbered, and they know it. And yeah, it was just astonishing. A breakout scene, just absolutely amazing, and some really quite sort of funny moments as well. The you're too late, when he says too late, when he goes into the Imperial sort of office.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. I thought, yeah, he's like, too late.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. That was a great.
Such a great
shot, 'cause, they're trying to trying to get a hold of this situation, and it's done.
Yeah.
Empire's lost this one easily. Orchid Beads, your thoughts about the escape plan and the whole action sequence of that?
My only issue is maybe they should have picked people that were better at climbing, because that one guy could not get up there, and then at one point, Cassian just like hangs on for a while and like just doesn't do anything. That was my only critique. Like, you would have thought that maybe they would have said, "Hey, who's better at climbing?" And maybe Cassian would have put a little more pep in his step, because he got kind of a lot of people killed because he would take so long. But I thought it was awesome. It was chaotic, and just kind of that shot of when they're all running through the hall screaming, only one way. And then all of the guards are like hiding behind that door in that room, cuddled up together, was awesome. I loved that shot because it just showed that like even they know that they're fucked and that they're outnumbered. And now
I loved how they especially focused on the sweat of that one officer, just terrified out of his mind.
Yeah, it was like that, the famous meme of the guy sweating. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Orc.
Bet Fanatics says perfectly. Can't swim, can't climb, can't survive.
Oh yeah, well, pretty much, right? Yeah. Definitely Cassie kind of waited for his moment of opportunity to take down, as he was hanging on, kind of waiting for his moment to not get shot and get the guy with the gun, because really that's all they needed. The moment they got the first firearm, it was pretty much game over for the Empire. And really it just kind of shows you what's Super Bro?
It's just frustrating, like they had the gun, they could have easily just wiped people out there.
Well, I mean, but see, that's where you can tell the Empire, they rule through fear of what others have done, because the Emperor is frightening, because the head people, the Inquisitors, are the scary ones. Vader is the scary one that has built this reputation around the Empire that has really allowed them to do all the things and take all the freedoms and rights away from the galaxy. If you take those people away, really they're a bunch of idiots. I mean, Cassian caught on to that the moment he walked into the prison. He saw that they were flustered. They didn't have their ducks in a row, and yet you have 8,000 prisoners in this facility, and yet you still are having issues with trying to bring in a new inmate. Like, it makes no sense, and it just shows you the flaws within the Empire, their comfort level of thinking no one would ever turn on them simply because they can we have an electricity. They got comfortable, and Cassian recognized that and used that to his advantage, and really it's what you see as their downfall. And I think it was one of the first comments Cassian said to Kino, which was like, he's like, what do you think that is? He's like, it's power. That's what that is. Like, no one's going to go up against them because they have power. And he's like, power doesn't panic, and here you were seeing them panic like crazy. They didn't know how to handle the situation when they caused that distraction with the inmates fighting. And it was like, well, what do we do now? What's protocol? They're so focused on what's the next process that they need to follow rather than just shutting that shit down. And one of the best examples of the difference between the two is when Kino Loy gets that control center room. Corey, go ahead and go to the next slide, please. When he gets to that control center room, he tells them exactly what he wants from them. They don't listen. Now Kino Loy is going to make a point of where he's willing to go. He just annihilates, not even hesitating. Boom, you're down. And showing he's not messing around. So we're like, oh shit, I guess we're going to listen to him. That whole interaction was just absolutely phenomenal, where he's telling them to shut down the facility, backup generators. And of course, they're like, we learned that this facility is run on hydropower, which makes sense of all the funnels that we saw of the facility. But now we get to this moment of Kino Loy. Corey, first, before we get to Kino Loy's speech, what was your thoughts about their escape plan and the action sequences of all that?
Yeah, it was good. They knew that there was going to be some casualties, but they all knew that they were basically dead there anyways. So rather die fighting to get out, right? So yeah, no, I was freaking out, man. I was loving every second of it. I actually had goosebumps. I was yelling Libertad, Libertad, just
Yeah.
like
Viva la rebellion!
yeah, yeah, just going nuts. I absolutely love the scene. I thought it was pretty well planned out, and yeah, it was it was just a really fun sequence for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we get to this moment where Kino has to give this speech to get everyone rowdied up to escape, because they need everyone to get this job done. And not only that, I think it just shows the brotherhood of all these prisoners, that they don't want to leave a man behind. And I love that Cassian's really kind of the influence here, the inspiration. He's trying to encourage Kino to be like, you've done this a million times. Just do what you do. You tell people what to do. That's all this is. Like, yes, lives are on your hands, but like, that's not the speech you just gave. We're saying, hi, I'm Kino Loy. I'm a day shift manager. We currently have the, control center possession. That's all I could tell you right now. And he's like, what the hell? Like, no, you need to tell them, work together, climb, get the weapons. We have more than them. Realize that they are not in control here. We are.
That's what
one way out, Jesus, super bro. What did you guys think of Kino Loy's speech? I know for me, as everyone was cheering one way out, I had goosebumps as well. I was feeling it. My stomach got in like knots because it was just this beautiful moment. Savage, your thoughts?
Yeah, 100% Batman approved. Absolutely loved it. And it's no secret Andy Serkis is a good actor. But that's like, some of the best acting in Star Wars was that moment over the microphone to the prisoners, and Cassian trying to encourage him as well. I just and the buzz, chills down my spine. It was just this is what it's all about. Now this is pod racing. I've just got that excitement, that pure Star Wars legendary excitement. I was like, yes. Viva la rebellion!
Yeah, absolutely. Orchid Beans, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I thought it was great. And just kind of for me, the best line was just when he's like, Cassian's like, is that the best you can do? Like, that's all you got, and there's a ton of hesitation from him. Like, it's a huge responsibility, and he's telling these people that like probably have never heard of him before, hey, I need you all to gang up and rebel and fight, and you're probably going to die, but you have to try. It's a huge responsibility, and he took it and ran with it.
And, I think what was also kind of special about it, Orc, was that in a weird way, Cassian was kind of doing what Nemec did for him. Encourage that rebellious nature to say, like, you got this, like, this, we're fighting for something bigger here. And yet it was maybe not so much the rebellion, but fighting for the brotherhood of all these group of people that, there's no out for them here. There's no survival if they just keep doing what they're doing and keep their heads down. They have to get involved. And hopefully this is just one step in the right direction for Cassian to realize there's no keeping his head down from the Empire. He has to do something, or in the grand scheme of things, just like they were doing, they will not survive. They will die, and like I said, I hope he realizes that. Retro Nurgle says, I like the fact that Cassian realized that he shouldn't do it and delegated the job to the best person. It shows that he is egoless. Absolutely. And I think if anything, he's wise. He's tactful. He knows that no one knows who the hell Cassian is. He's the new guy. And Kino Loy has been there for a very long time, and he holds the respect of the men. And I think that's partly because he is tactful and knows how to get the job done. through and through. Super Bro Corey, your thoughts on Kino Loy's grand speech?
Man, I thought it was beautiful. It pumped me up. I got excited. One Way Out definitely holds, hits harder than No More Tube Food. I thought it was beautiful. I loved, his passion. Andy does such a great job, with his
He's
voice
very
and
much an
everything like
underrated
that.
actor. You realize that with, I think what Andy Serkis has like kind of failed under is not failed, but he doesn't get credit because he's been mostly a CGI character, from King Kong to Gollum to Caesar from Planet of the Apes. But now you're seeing, and to even Snoke. And now here he is.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Are you going to finish your?
No, go ahead. I'm curious by this question.
So I couldn't tell at the very end, but he's can we get to the part where he says I can't swim?
Sure. Yes. Let's. We'll go ahead and we'll get to that. Yeah.
So he says he can't swim, and then Andor gets pushed off, and then we don't see him anymore, right? My screen was dark. He's not running on the beach with Andor, right?
No, he's not. It's actually one of the people that you see in Rogue One as one of his officers. I think his name was Melshi. Melshi is the prisoner that he runs with.
So he can't swim. He doesn't. He stays on. Supposedly stays on the ship, the prison theme, which is kind of an interesting idea. But I felt like they should have killed all the guards. Like leaving the two behind there and letting the other ones chill in the room. They should have just killed them all. But it made me wonder, because I can't remember which one of you guys said it. Does, with him staying on there, do they potentially turn him into Snoke?
Yeah, my brother said the same. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think people, simply because it's Andy Serkis, that he must be Snoke, and I don't think there's any relations or connections.
No, I think the most likely explanation is after the sequel sucking so much, Andy Serkis wanted a second shot, and this is it.
to be a part of Star Wars lore, right? He's like, please redeem me.
Be a part of Star Wars lore that's not shit.
Yeah.
Trey, we did get a request earlier.
A request?
When it comes to, Lord Kojay says, Trey, can you please say I can't swim as Schmeagol?
Technically said I can't swim Smeagol.
No.
Can't swim.
And Oracle wants to know, Trey, have you ever done voice acting?
No, I have not. No, I would think, honestly, I'd probably be horrible at it.
What? I was about to say, one thing that's awesome about Trey is he does so many different voices. It's insane. Like you.
I've been into that since I was a kid as well. Since I started my channel, I got contacted by someone about it.
Oh, really?
Out of the blue. So it's something I've always would have liked to do, I suppose. But I don't know. Yeah, I have to see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool. Don't get me wrong. It'd be
you
awesome.
Impersonate a lot of different voices.
I know it, but I mean, see, that's impersonating people, and that's not like creating my own voices. Like people like Ray Porter do, and like Kevin Conroy. Like when you think about that, like, I don't know, man, or like Andy Serkis, he created that Gollum voice. So it's like I don't know if I could do that. I can imitate people, but creating my own thing is kind of like, that's an interesting concept. I don't know. I would have to think about that, but thank you. That's nice of you guys to say. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, it's definitely. Oh my gosh, Oracle. As Retro Nerd Girl says, his speech is one of the best monologues in the Star Wars franchise. Then we get another one in the same episode. Well, absolutely. To end on the Kino Loy situation, because I do want to ask you guys about that. One, I personally love the imagery of when you see the facility, it looks like an imperial symbol. And it's kind of like the breaking into freedom, breaking away from the empire. That's like, it's kind of the nail on the head that it's like so obvious. But I just thought at the same time, it was just kind of cool to see the facility designs that way and to kind of see that imagery, which was cool. Corey brought it up with Kino Loy. What do you think is going to happen to Kino Loy? What's your theory? Let's start with Savage.
Unclear. I'm hoping that he gets maybe takes over a transport when it lands and escapes. It'd be nice to see him show up, in season 2, saying I survived and meeting back up with Cassian. But I think I'm being a bit wishful thinking now. I'm thinking maybe he might just get killed. I'm not sure. Yeah, just one of them ones, isn't it? It would be nice to see. It would be nice to see him again.
I think they're definitely going to see him again. Do you? I mean, out of curiosity, if he does die, which to me that would be a huge like letdown to just simply helps everyone break out and then kill him and no one sees it. What do you think his death would do for the story, pushing it forward? Do you think they use him as a trap for Cassian or something?
Maybe, or it just infuriates Cassian even more to fight harder for the rebellion because he knows that this guy was genuine and a true enemy of the Empire. That could be an explanation for it.
Okay.
Possibly.
Orc and Beans, your thoughts about what happens to Kino Loy's character? Because they definitely left it open. They wanted you to go, what? Why?
Yeah, I was really disappointed. I really wanted him to get out of there. And I think if Cassian hadn't gotten pushed off, he would have helped him swim along. I'm hoping Savage is right and that he steals a ship or something and takes off. I have a feeling that maybe some of the prisoners might stay back and loot or, do something and try to get some stuff before they leave. And so maybe he kind of starts up his own little gang and wipes everybody else out and then takes a transport. But I'm with Savage. I really hope that this isn't the last that we've seen of him.
There was someone who brought up the idea that when you see kind of the resolve, you see the fear in Kino when he's like, I can't swim, like I'll drown. Like you can tell he's very afraid. But as he sees everyone kind of jump into their freedom, you kind of see a bit of calmness and comfort that he gets from it. Like he stops breathing as heavily, and it's just kind of, I did my best and I did my job. Like I got my people to safety. I gave them the opportunity of freedom. And I do get the feeling that this is not the end for Kino Loy for sure. Super Bro Corey, your thoughts on about what happens to Kino Loy after this moment?
Yeah, I think it would be a waste if they kill him off, but it's and we don't see him anymore. But one thing we know about Andor and anything that Andor's in, don't really hold on to really anybody there. People are dead. So yeah, I do hope we see him again. They almost executed the perfect prison break, but I don't know why they didn't kill everybody. That's like the one thing that still kind of irks me a little. Like the 2 guys in the room.
I think
the rest of the dudes hiding. No, because
no, I hear you. I was gonna agree.
Definitely a mistake.
There was because I was thinking about the implications of the song. One, unless you're Cassian Andor, who gave them a fake name from the get-go, they have records on all you people. So I feel like we probably should have seen if we can, get rid of records or anything like that. Prison records, who was there type thing. So it would have been more difficult for them to figure out. Maybe clearly there's a reason why they want us put in the same shit for freaking years. So why not blow up the prison itself and help it, fall into the sea, or, they have to have some type of transportation out as well. So, as the butler said, Corey is from Buenos Aires, and I say, kill them all.
Yeah. Well, there was as the Cassian and his mate were running across the desert. You could see two ships with searchlights looking either side, going towards the prison. So perhaps that's the transport that he steals. One of them, maybe. Possibly.
Yeah, possibly for sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Corey on that. I think Corey and I have watched Walking Dead too long, to the point where, like, when you leave people alive, they just come back and haunt you, or, take something away from you. So now anytime we see, like, leftover
Walking
people,
Dead
we're like, kill them, taking them down.
Times, dude.
Yeah, Walking Dead has made us paranoid to, like, why would you leave that dude alive? Just take him out. Take him out of the equation so he never bugs you again.
You see that?
I agree with Corey. Right, yeah, I agree with Corey. The moment, like, Kino was so quick to kill the one dude, I would have totally. I think they called the one character who was kind of the leader of that facility the voice of God. I think that's technically his credit title. I would have taken him down. I would have not have left him there, because not only that, they're witnesses to what went down and to the people who went and did it. That's just someone who's going to be able to, help the Empire connect the dots that, oh, here's this Cassian guy that got away, and he went by this name. It's just one breadcrumb to find Cassian again, for sure.
As well as they when they all jumped off, they would have came out and be like, okay, they're swimming eastbound, heading towards the hills, and then, just fly some TIE fighters and,
Yeah. Well, so I think Oracle said it earlier, where it's just like a phenomenal speech that, Kino Loy gives. And then to add on to it, not even 5 minutes later, you get another probably even better speech than Kino Loy, which I didn't think was possible after that, with Luthen. We learned that Supervisor Lonnie Jung is the spy for the ISB. He's the one that is basically going to meet up with Luthen's character and kind of give him the information about what's about to happen to these people if Luthen doesn't do anything about it. And he's telling them, like, hey, there's this rising officer, Deidre. She's coming for you guys. And I loved the way they shot this particular scene where he's in the elevator. They're cutting different shots of it to make it feel really just kind of distracting and discombobulating, like he's confused. And I love that Luthen is kind of just like saying, like, oh, how's your family doing? He's kind of scary, right? Like, the fact that Luthen is like, oh yeah, I've been paying attention to you, bro. How's it? Like, you're not gonna tell me about your kids? You're not gonna tell me how your life is going? I thought we're friends. And he does it in such a way where he's like, I love that Lonnie's even kind of like, is this a threat right now? Like, are you trying to, why are you making me feel like unsettling? What was your guys' whole thoughts about just that initial phone call, and then finally seeing Luthen with that gorgeous shot with his cape flowing in the wind?
Yeah, it was great, and he was definitely subtly threatening him by the sounds of it, and that whole scene with, like you said, with the cape and that, very Empire Strike Back feel to it. That was really, really like, this is some of the great imagery of Star Wars. There was like the beams in the background had the little lights flashing, and it just and the wind, the sound of the wind. It's the same as Cloud City. It was really, 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 just an amazing bit of the sort of dark look of Star Wars, which I love so much.
And I think one of the great parts about it, Savage, was, I didn't know if you guys knew this, but George Lucas, before he sold LucasArts and Lucasfilms to Disney, he actually wanted to do a show about Coruscant's underground level, like their kind of their crime world. And it was all about kind of the lower levels of Coruscant. And we learned that they're on like level 331. So that just tells you like how tall the cities and towers are of Coruscant, and this is just a piece of their underground level, which is really exciting. Orc and Beans, what did you think about this whole interaction with Luthen keeping his eye on Lonnie?
Well, I thought it was interesting where he's like, you can't leave because we've spent so much time grooming you. Like, we've kept you in there for 4 years. I've given you information that has cost a lot of people to promote you and keep you in there and stuff like that. And so it was just, you kind of feel bad for this guy because he clearly wants out, but he knows that he can't. There's nothing he can do to get out of it. And, it's just a really tough situation for that poor guy. He's a father now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it goes right back to what we were kind of talking about earlier, is that people like the rebellion, or like the people who are trying to start this rebellion, have kind of done things not half-assed, but not fully committed, because no one wants to be the first loss. No one wants to be the sacrifice, right? Like they have things they want to live for, and now it's, when the pressure is on and the push goes a shove, it's kind of like, I want out. I have a family. I have a reason to live. Like I don't want to be the martyr of this for this rebellion. I want to see the freedom at the end of it. They want to get to the end of the journey of the rebellion, but they don't want to do the craziness that they have to do in the beginning and middle of it. And I think that's important for what Luthen's about to say to him. Super Bro Corey, your thoughts about Luthen and Lonnie's interaction?
Yeah, no, like I kind of mentioned a little earlier, he has definitely, the entire scene gave me Emperor Palpatine, but on the good side, the rebel side. So it was just showing how controlling and manipulating, and how he only has one goal in mind, which is to start the rebellion. So I like when he brought up his daughter and family. Like I loved that. He's like, yeah, I know, and I'm not saying I'll take it there, but yeah, I'd probably take it there if I have to. You got to do some evil shit. You got to fight evil with evil. Peace through superior firepower. And I loved every moment of it on this.
Oh, absolutely. Just like how he says, like, I've told you, I thought about you constantly.
Yeah.
And I love how he's talking about this plan with Deidre, and he's like, good, encourage what she wants to do, because guess what? I'm already 5 steps ahead of her. She is focusing so much on finding the middleman, finding the connections to Aldhani, when I'm already over here. I'm already doing this. And I even love that he's still continuing this narrative when he's like, did you guys have something to do with Aldhani? He's like, no, we were invited, but we declined because it was all based on luck, and we don't do shit on luck. When we all know it's the same way he interacted with Saul Guerrero. He's like, oh yeah, good job, Saul. It was all you, buddy. And I think that's brilliant, is to never, he is the ghost, right? It's kind of like the Patriot movie with Mel Gibson, where he was, Mel Gibson's character was this ghost-like character. No one knew who he was. And that's what made him even more dangerous, because in a way, everyone could be the ghost. Everyone could be the rebellion. And I loved that so much. And the speech, this final, obviously Lonnie's feeling the stress of what is being asked of him, and kind of the fact that Luthen just won't let him go because he's a valuable piece. He's like, 50 people for the loss of you. He's like, worth it. He's like, I will not, you cannot go. We've put too much time and effort for you. You've built up 6 years making, you're now in a place in position that you can help us greatly with our rebellion. He's like, you're not going anywhere. And I love that Lonnie kind of feeling, in self-pity of himself, which granted, I get it. He has a family, but he says like, what have you sacrificed here? I see you always asking people to do stuff, but I don't see you actually doing. And this speech, and I have to say it word for word, because to me, it was absolutely one of the greatest speeches ever, to the point where I got choked up from it because it was so good. But it starts with, and Lonnie says, and what do you sacrifice? And of course, Luthen responds, calm, kindness, kinship, love. And I feel like the way he said love was, I think, the true reason behind what he's doing. He reacted very differently when he said that word. But he says, I've given up all the chance at inner peace. I've made my mind a sunless space. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago from which there are only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do. My anger, my ego, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight. They've set me on a path from which there is no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice without contemplating the cost, and by the time I looked down, there was no longer any ground beneath my feet. What is my sacrifice? I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. And the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice? Everything. That shit.
Absolutely
That
amazing.
shit.
And well read.
Thank you. That shit gives me chills. Like literally saying it myself, I am like overcome with like the emotions of like how powerful that is and how they filmed it in a way that when he finally says the word everything, it echoes as it's supposed to like elongate his pain and anguish of this moment of what is he giving up. And it's every leader, right? Like you don't understand what they're giving up. And clearly he is committed to this. He understands that this cause, while he may not do it the way people would hope, with honor, dignity, respect, fighting like a true gentleman, this is war. There's no time for generosities and kindness, you know.
Also, the comment he made about 15 years ago, I'm presuming that was Order 66. More reasons to whose connection to something going on.
I don't believe it was Order 66 because we're technically 5 years before 5 years before Yavin. So I think that would be because essentially you think Luke Skywalker, you know, was born a day or two after Order 66. So that would put like Luke at 20 years if we did it that way, or at least I don't know. I don't think so. I get the idea that maybe he was talking about like maybe he was a separatist back then, or at least believed in the separatist cause. I don't know, but maybe you're right. I'm not sure about that time frame. I thought about that as well. That's interesting to think about. We'll dig in deep to that, Savage, and see if we can figure out that timeline.
And you know, the connection with the love thing. You know, perhaps his wife got killed or something that day. When the Empire took over.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
And it's kind of funny because he kind of throws a little bit of Lonnie's, you know, not exactly attack, but his shade at Luthen. He kind of throws it back when he's just like, oh, you know, I understand. Like, I get why you're afraid and you don't want to continue. Like, you're every day you're performing, you know, pretending to be someone else. And as we've seen very clearly, one of the first times we met Luthen in episode 3 and 4, you know, when he does the whole getting into his character that he's known at the, at his antique store, you know, he's very much doing the same thing. He's not doing anything that he hasn't done himself. He's not asking for anything that he hasn't done himself. Orc, what was your thoughts on that speech that he gives about sacrifice?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of probably pain behind it. Like you said, you know, there's kind of a hesitation with the way he says love. And so I'm curious to see if maybe we'll get a, in the beginning of the show, they did a ton of flashbacks. Maybe we'll finally get a flashback of him. Maybe when Cassian and him link up again, we're going to find out some more. Because I feel like at some point those two have to link up again, and Luthen will then trust Cassian because, you know, he probably doesn't know where Cassian was gone for all this time, and he still has, you know, them hunting for him. So I feel like at some point those two need to click up again, and maybe we'll find out more about what's going on and where that love hesitation's coming from.
Yeah. Absolutely. Super Bro Corey, your thoughts about Luthen's speech?
Extremely powerful. I think it just shows, that how dark everything is, how he's the only one who's been, really screaming from the top of his lungs that we need to change this. And now he's in hiding, and he believes that, what they're doing is wrong, and has to constantly be haunted by the fact that he hates what's happening so much that it's just constantly replaying in his head, and everything that the Empire's done to him, to people he loves. It's just a constant reminder of what he's fighting for, and he's never satisfied. He's never, he doesn't sleep. Clearly, like he just very disgruntled, and I think he knows that shit's about to get real, and he's ready to embrace the full on, fuckery.
He's committed.
Of it all. Yeah, he's committed to it all.
Yeah. And I think in a way he mirrors exactly what Kino Loy said earlier. He's like, I'm going to act as if I'm already dead. And that's what gives them the comfort they need to do what they have to do to get this job done, because this was never going to be an easy fight, right? That the Emperor has solidified the Empire's reign and power and control over the entire galaxy. And you were never going to be able to win this battle by fighting it the way the Jedi were trying to fight the Sith, they were trying to play it politically and just honestly kind of just the reason that we learned in Tales of the Jedi with Qui-Gon Jinn dying, they didn't take them seriously with the Sith, and this is where it's led to, and now it's pushed. They're backed into a corner basically. If they want freedom from the Empire, they're going to have to claw, bite, scratch their way out. It's not going to be pretty, and I loved that they finally gave Luthen a chance to kind of speak the truth behind why he's doing and how he's doing it, which is simply, in a weird way, you kind of learned the growth of his character, because in the beginning he thought he could have what Mon Mothma believes she can have. She believes she can fight this war as a lady, as a person of influence, and try to do it peacefully in a sense, as Padme once thought she did. And he thought that egotistically that one day he would be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel and come out on top, and he would be embraced for all of his sacrifice. But the truth is he's already kind of said to himself, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to see this, this great sacrifice I've done. I'm not going to see the rewards from it. And I'm okay with that, because knowing that we'll get to this place of freedom from the Empire is worth the fight. Amazing. Loved every second.
Which also makes you think nearly went the whole episode without saying World War II until now. Is perhaps he killed his wife because she didn't agree with him going against the Empire. She was going to grass him up, and tell on him to the Empire. And perhaps that's what he meant by what have I sacrificed? Everything.
That is an interesting concept, because at that point you kill.
We know how savage the rebellion is. We see Cassian shoot his friend at the beginning of Rogue One. It's a dirty business. Perhaps it was him, who and that used to happen a lot in World War II. People would be like, "Oh, I kind of sort of agree with the Germans. You might as well surrender." Nah.
Well, guys, as we come to the end of this episode, we like to do our ratings. Does anyone have anything else that they want to say before we do our ratings, or are you guys ready to get into the score? Yeah, honestly, you might have to
Drinking-
make that a game.
Yeah, definitely. To see how many times Savage Batman, every time I mention World War II, take a shot. You'll be absolutely plastered by the end of it. Batman who laughs, that's brilliant.
Retro Nerd Girl says this actually reminds me of Starship Troopers, where we have thousands of people who sacrifice their lives for that sunrise they'll never see. It's a product of war.
Yeah, it's very, very sad.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, what would you rate this episode?
Me, easy. This is the first 10 out of 10. 100%. 100%. Perfection. It's just amazing. World War II, great escape. Absolutely loved it. And it deserves a 10 out of 10. Just for the way it made me feel. It was really exciting. It was proper Star Wars. Absolutely loved the blaster battles, getting out of the prison and all that. Just really, really captured the essence of Star Wars for me. And it was just So it deserves a 10, I think, from me. What more could you ask for? That's how I see it.
Samuel L. Jackson breaking through the door and saying, like, I'm still alive, mother. I'm just kidding. Orchid Beads, how about you?
Like I said at the beginning, I'm glad that I finally got to watch an episode that Savage was watching. And this one is a 9.9 with the possibility to be a 10 if my boy comes back and we find out he didn't die because he can't swim. If he comes back, I'll come back and say that this episode was a 10. I was really upset when he was like, I can't swim. And I was like, no, you worked so hard. Like you worked so hard to get everybody out. You gave us an amazing speech and you're going to die because you can't swim. But if he makes it out of there, easy, 10 out of 10. Glad I'm finally watching the same show.
I'm glad you finally got what you wanted, Orchid Beans. That really brings warm feelings to my heart.
Be honest.
I just needed to pay $8 and I got the episode that you got.
Orc, I just gotta know, be honest, if there was a single scene with Surreal Karn sitting with his mom eating Blue Milk cereal, what would you score it?
So farther down. That was the other thing. He wasn't in this episode. And what do you know? Every scene was impactful in this episode.
Hashtag Surreal Khan cereal series. We should start a campaign of just him sitting with his mum eating cereal.
And just reviewing
every episode.
Star Wars news. And like, oh, the Wookiees are rebellion. Cool. She's like, why are you still sitting here every day eating the same damn cereal that I provide you? She's like, you're gonna start paying rent. That's the entire episode. It's a soap opera with Surreal Karn. Super Bro Corey, your score, sir.
Bro, we got a fantastic final, rally to start a prison break. We got the prison break. We got monumental speeches. And then, we get everything that Luthen did at the end, man, to put the little cherry on top of, everything. So, for me, this episode was a solid 10 as well.
Yeah, it's just so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
I see no reason it doesn't deserve the 10.
You know me, man. It's pretty much perfect. Like I said, the dialogue alone was some of the, even take out Star Wars, was some of the best writing I have ever heard, and 100%. The way it was delivered from each actor, was completely blown away. Like I said, reading that speech that Luthen gave, and I was getting choked up. I was getting knots in my stomach, because it's painful to read that, but at the same time, it's like that dude right there, like you can hear the pain in his voice, but at the same time, like that dude, exactly where he stands. Even though he may blur the line between good and bad, exactly where he stands. And I loved that Andy Serkis, Kino Loy, incredible. Luthen deserves Bill Skarsgård deserves an award for this. Seriously, like one of the most powerful deliveries ever in like a TV show. If people aren't watching Andor yet, you need to, because of this particular episode right here. I'm going to give it the closest possible thing I could give it to perfection, because I didn't get my blue milk cereal. I'm just kidding. I'm going to give it a 9.9. It was a masterpiece. Brilliant writing.
What would you have changed to get a 10, Trey?
I can't give it a 10, Corey.
I see. I don't like that.
I don't give Jurassic Park a 10 because if I say a film is perfect, what if I find a film that's better than Jurassic Park?
You don't rate something, then change the score for Jurassic Park. All right, it's a 9.9999998 now.
Get out. Batang can go crazy with that score. What were the folks saying, though? What's the score that we're hearing from the people?
The Butler with a 9.7. Beyond the Night with a 9.8. Red Hooded Outlaw with a 9.6.
Yeah.
Retro Nerd Girl with a 10.
Yeah.
Oracle's Clock Tower with a
Yeah.
10. S. Alley with an 11 out of 10.
Welcome, S. Sally. It's good to see you.
99 out of 100 from the Batman Who Laughs. A 9.8 from Trevor H.
Yeah.
An 8.9 from hashtag Restore the Snyderverse guy. Wait, no, he meant 9.8. Yep.
Typing too fast. Typing too fast, sir.
Bat Fanatic with another 10. Lord Koj with a 9.8. Bat Dan's Thoughts with 9.6782341267686753009.
867
Lord Koj gave it a 10.
Jenny. No, I'm sorry.
Lord Koj says
That's a
this
tune.
episode, we feel the three key rebel characters against the wall: Monma, Luthen, and Andor.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
that's what we're
Koj.
getting.
You got my back.
Very heavy duty.
Well, great stuff, guys. Thank you so much for checking out the episode 8. Episode 8? What am I talking about? Episode 10. Jeez. Episode 10 breakdown review of One Way Out. Episode 11 obviously is next Wednesday. We'll continue to do our Delta Squad streams on Saturday. But as always, I like to roll out the red carpet for my boys of the Delta Squad streams. What you guys got going on, Mr. Savage Bat?
Well, I've got my show, The Bat and the Kryptonian, with Zod Writer in 9, 10, 11, 12, about just over 4 hours, 4 hours and 20 minutes. So go click on the link. And if all goes well, got a special guest coming on as well. But you never know with these things. And then tomorrow, same time, midnight UK time, is going to be a live crossover stream, just a dedication to Kevin Conroy. Hashtag RIP Kevin Conroy. I've been in absolute bits about the whole thing for a couple of days, and I'll have a proper talk about that, and all share each other's experiences with Kevin Conroy over the years.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Looking forward to hearing that. That's it was rough.
Yeah,
it was a rough day yesterday, and it's a rough day today. You know, it's just gonna be a rough life without Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, it is. It is. I hate to put it down on things, but that's, now's the time.
We just got on this high of Andor, and he took us right down.
Yeah,
I'm a cop, you idiot.
But,
Orc and Beans, my man, you just celebrated your birthday yesterday.
Yes, my birthday was on Thursday, and then I did a little birthday stream on Friday. I'm probably going to stream here as well in a couple of hours. I've been a day behind on everything. Yesterday was the 11th year anniversary of Skyrim, so I've been spending all day yesterday and today downloading mods for Skyrim, because I'm going to play that today. As long as the internet gods allow it, because I'm still having issues with the internet. Hashtag fuck Mediacom. But yeah, that's what I'm up to. Come follow me on Twitch.
Do it.
Happy birthday for the other day. Or
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Yeah.
happy birthday, guys. If you haven't not followed Orchid Beans on Twitch, you need to, because not only that, in a few weeks, obviously with our finale of Andor, we will be doing maybe a Battlefront stream again. I don't know. It kind of depends on what Orchid Beans is feeling that day. But I will be setting up. Oh, okay. I will be setting that up fairly soon, so that way it's a open gaming panel that we like to do, so that you can come hang out with us, play some Star Wars Battlefront, just annihilating. We'll probably do like Rebel, time period, the Galactic Civil War, all that funness.
Good.
And we'll lose every game again.
No,
Every game.
We've been winning together offline. So I this episode got me so pumped. I may pop on a little bit today and play some.
Yeah. Lord Koj says Kevin Conroy's passing was hard. Yeah, man. I hear you, bro. I hear you. It's difficult as always, but we'll pull through together as a DC family. We have wonderful thing. I was gonna, I have a baby shower to go to tonight. Oh dear, I have a baby shower to go to, guys. It's my wife's best friend, so I'm starting to.
That sounds like fun.
Starting to get that conversation of Trey, when are you ready to have kids? And it's like,
ooh.
Hey, haven't you been watching my streams? Fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Slap at the blessed cheeks. Yeah, man, it should be fun. But hey, I'm gonna actually go see one of my buddies who's a big Star Wars fan. I'm hoping to have him on our show for the finale of Andor with Delta Squad stream. I'm gonna talk to him actually about it tonight. But we'll see for sure. Super Bro Corey, any final thoughts there before we end it out?
Yeah, no. Watch Andor. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Please watch Andor, because we want more Star Wars content like this.
Quality Star Wars content.
Quality Star Wars content. Yep. No disrespect to the shows out so far, but for me, just the quality is just on another level.
This is Red Dawn, Prison Break, all wrapped in one, and I'm loving every second of it.
Amazing. And I can't wait until in a few weeks' time when it's finished. Funny enough, my brother's off for some holiday. We're going to get up early in the morning and marathon the whole of Andor in one go. It's a kind of it's a family tradition to do this kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
I like that, dude. That's cool. Yeah. You'll have to let us know if your thoughts, now that once you see it all the way through, once you do the marathon, if your feelings about some of the episodes have changed all. Corey and I like doing that every night. We did that with Halo, and that was pretty fun. But guys, as always, thank you so much for hanging out with us today for our Andor episode 10. One Way Out. No Way Out. What am I talking about? One Way Out. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Everyone in the chat is great. Guys, make sure to follow Orkin Beans 14 over on Twitch and the Savage Bat over on YouTube. He's gonna be doing some crazy shows lately. Guys, I am your host Trey with the Super Bro Corey, and don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bad time, same bad channel. Same bad time, same bad channel. Same bad time, same bad channel. Same bad.